to Denver, and if it looks like I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday, it's because I am, because apparently I left half of my clothes in Vermont at the Airbnb. I'm giving this a few moments to see if we will gain an audience, but I wanted to give you an update. And let me pull up chat because that's what I count on to know if anybody actually is here. And my hair is matted. Oh my God. I literally did just get in from the Denver airport. So let's get this not quite so matted. Okay. So what's going on? As you guys know, there were some loose lips of some people on the JC looking to cover their political asses who made phone calls to people other than the parties, letting people know what their decision was, which is completely inappropriate. The JC rules allow the JC to informally let the parties know ahead of time. These weren't the parties. These were outsiders. This was just political bullshit. So it's been bothering me that this happened because I shouldn't have had to have found out from other people. So I wrote the JC chair, who I respect deeply, Dr. Mary Rohr, and I told her what happened. And like the classy lady she is, she apologized for the unprofessionalism. And she also said that she respected that I wasn't going to tattle on my sources. And I also wasn't going to tattle on who I knew the JC members were that blabbed, because I know that too. I don't know all of them. I know the names of a few of them. And I wasn't going to rat them out because what are you going to do? It's over. It's done with. That genie can't be put back in the bottle. But I did want to complain about the unprofessionalism. And Mary Rohr did apologize. I also expressed to her my extreme disappointment with what I know the JC decision is. And I told her that this is the worst LNC in history, which I firmly believe, and that I know a thing or two about history, and that I think this JC just fucked the party, is basically what I said to her. She wrote back to try to assure me, to say the reason they did not want to release the decision ahead of the opinions is she believes that the opinions will be coming to the party. And I hope she's right. There are two issues here. One of these issues is about me. I got fucked. Okay. I got completely screwed out of a position that I worked for by corrupt LNC members. But there's a larger, more important issue, and that's the party. So if these opinions will help the party, I'm very glad for that, but they don't help me. They don't help me at all. But if there's two like potential harms here, one to me and one to the party, at least I'm glad that at least one of those harms might be mitigated, because I care deeply about the party, but it doesn't help me. It doesn't help. I heard Mr. O'Donnell. I spoke with, I'm not going to say who because I'm not trying to get people in trouble, but I heard. And that's bullshit too. And if that person wants to come on my show, but realize that they'll probably risk a lot if they do, we'll talk about it. But if these JC opinions can prevent a party split, I'm happy. Now, that doesn't help me, though. I'm still a human being that got fucked, though I'm happy for the party's sake. So Mary assures me that they did what they could to avoid a party split. I don't believe they did what they could. If they wanted to do what they could, they would have did the right thing. But as I told her, because she said she watched my stream the other day, which I thanked her for, and I hope she watches this one. I said, well, you saw on my other stream that I was very, very cautious about giving an opinion, except for saying I do think they made the wrong opinion, but I really was reserving judgment to to criticize the reasoning because I don't know the reasoning. And I left the door open that they could have some good points. Very clearly could. That doesn't mean I'm ever going to agree with the decision, but I've always said that if they made good points, I would concede the good points, as I've always done. So I'm reserving judgment on quite how terrible their decision would be, but I think the decision is terrible. I'm not going to lie about that. But the extent of its terribleness, I'm reserving judgment. I want to read the opinions with an open mind, and she thanked me for that. She also invited me to speak with her after the decisions were released, and I will take her up on that because I said to her, Mary, there's a long history in this party of radicals getting fucked over, and I never forgot what happened to you in 2008 and Angela Keaton. But I'll be more than glad to speak with Mary afterwards. Though I'm going to confess, and I'd say this right to Mary, I do find it somewhat demeaning to say to me, yeah, too bad you got fucked over, but we're going to calm the party. Gee, thanks, Mary. Gee. But I think she was probably on the right. Here's my guess as to how Mary voted. I don't know. She isn't one of the ones who blabbed her mouth. She either didn't vote, and if she didn't, I'm sorry, I'm going to call that cowardice. If she did vote, she didn't vote to suspend me. And if she did, a hero of the party has fallen. But I don't believe she did. I believe she either abstained, which I will find to be cowardly, or she voted on the right side. I don't know any of that, though. I don't pull punches. Listen, I adore Mary. Mary gave my nomination speech in 2018. But nobody's untouchable. Because a lot of people are assuming she abstained. And in a case like this, an abstention is cowardice. I'm sorry. I'm never, ever going to budge from that. But I don't know. So I want to stop guessing because I adore Mary. I mean, Mary is a radical hero. And I've also heard, but can't prove, that Nick Sarwark put a lot of pressure on these people. I believe it. I can't prove it. Unlike the conversations with these JC members covering their ass. That I know for a fact happened. But since I'm not going to reveal my sources, you can believe me or not. I don't care. With the Nick thing, it's just a guess. People have told me they suspect it. I suspect it too. It sounds plausible. Can't prove it. So we'll see. We're going to go over the opinions when they come out. But I wanted to let you know about that conversation I had with Mary. She's such a doll. One of the JC members, and I'm not going to say their name, is got very, okay, let me put it to you this way. One of the JC members, who I know is one of the people who at least made one of the phone calls, and I didn't name that person to Mary, and I refused to, got awfully defensive. Let's just put it that way. Got awfully defensive to D. Frank, too. Now I want to hear those tapes. I want to hear what these people said. Because they're getting awful scared about D. Frank releasing those tapes. At first, I didn't want them to be released. I want them to be released now. I want to hear what they said. If you got nothing to hide. Of course, the government says that too. So I feel kind of dirty saying that. I mean, you do ever, but this is not the government. This isn't your personal phone calls. These are decisions in which you guys decided to rubber stamp the LNC, the most corrupt, like the dirty hands. This is a corrupt LNC. I'm never backing down from that. Now I don't have to. What are they going to do? Remove me? Oh, and I said that to Mary. I said, Mary, you guys had such a safe Solution. All you had to do was punt it back to the LNC on procedural grounds and say, give her a trial. Oh, I'm running again, JG. Bet your sweet ass I'm running again. But now let me get to the legal thing, because this gets touchier. And I've had people challenge me on this already, and I'm sure I'll catch a lot of flack. I was alerted. This had been out, but apparently I didn't see it. This had been out already in a filing in the JC, but it was in an appendix. And I have to be honest with you, I didn't read the appendix to a brief filed by Ken Molman. Apparently, under Virginia law, a nonprofit corporation, which we are, officers and directors are not allowed to be removed by any other than the body that voted them in, which in our case would be, for regionals, the region, but it wouldn't be the regional chairs. It would be the regional delegates. And in my case, delegates, the delegates at convention. We are incorporated in DC, but we're domiciled in Virginia. And we're registered as, let me get the dog in here. It'll keep barking. Come on in, Skippy. Come on in. Oh, both of you. Both the beagle and the dachshund. But we're a registered foreign corporation in Virginia, and our headquarters are in Virginia. We've got significant contacts with Virginia. I do not know if Virginia nonprofit corporate law applies to foreign corporations in Virginia. I don't know that. I'm not an attorney, obviously. So that should be a fairly simple question for a Virginia attorney. If anyone knows a Virginia attorney who can answer that for me, I would love to know. Because if so, our bylaws are illegal and need to be modified. And my removal was illegal. Now, people have gotten all upset and said, yeah, but you said you would never sue the party. And that's true. But coming from a legal background, I think some people are defining suit a lot differently than I would. When I say I would never sue the party, I said why. When I said I would never sue the party, I said because any damages that I won wouldn't be paid by the LNC, they'd be paid by the members. That is what I'm referring to. I would never sue the party for damages. I would never take money that members donated as damages. But I always had an attorney represent me throughout this whole thing to protect my rights and the rights of the voting delegates. That is not the same thing. So if I were illegally removed, I will pursue that. That is not suing the party. That is protecting my rights. I would never, ever, ever seek damages from this party because it would come from the members. However, I'd sue the LNC if it came out of their pocket. I'd take money from them. But it doesn't work that way in corporations. It would come out of our officer and directors liability policy, which means their rates would go up, which members pay for. And I will never do that. I'd never do that. So, but asking for injunctive relief to keep them from doing something illegal, yeah, I would do that. And the funny thing is, I don't have to. That statute actually isn't to protect the officer, it's to protect the voting members. And there are plenty of voting members out there that would gladly be the petitioner in that case. I don't even have to be the petitioner in that case. But I wanted to explain that that is not a breaking of any kind of promise not to sue the party. I still will never, ever sue the party, but I want to tell you what I mean by sue. There's a reason for that. It's not that I think it's wrong, ethically wrong. It's that I will not harm the members. Suing to protect their members' rights to elect whom they choose and not have a minority voice removed summarily because the majority has 2/3. No, that's protecting the members. Now, I'm not saying even if this law applies that I'm going to do that. I haven't made any kind of decision. I just want to know if it applies. I want to know if it applies primarily because if it does, our bylaws need to be changed. But I don't know. I have one email out to a Virginia attorney, but I don't know if they'll be willing to help or answer. I put the JC on notice because I do want Chuck Moulton to look at it. I don't know if he's licensed in PA, but he probably knows a lot more about the laws over there than I do. So I did put the JC on notice. I also put the LNC on notice. And what I wrote to the LNC, I wrote to Whitney and Ken. I said, it's just come to my attention that my removal may have been illegal. The statutory authority is cited in Appendix B of Ken Molman's second brief to the JC. And I told the LNC candidly, I have no idea if this applies. However, as a life member of this party, I insist that you run this by Oliver Hall to make sure the party is not running afoul of the law. Now, do I have faith in Oliver Hall? No, I haven't in a long time. If it were up to me, we would have a different LNC attorney, and I've made my feelings on that very clear, but it's not up to me. I think he's excellent at ballot access. I think he fucked the party over in his advice on on what just cause is, and I also think he fucked the party over in what happened with the 2020 convention, and there's a whole lot else that went on with that I believe he committed malpractice. And I told him that. And I told him that I just don't want to cost people their jobs. That's the only reason I never filed a bar complaint against him. I believe he committed malpractice in his advice to sign that Johnson contract with the eternal secrecy clause. I told him that back then. I haven't been a fan of Oliver Hall in a long time. But it's not my decision. The chair makes the decision on who our general counsel will be. So do I think if they run this by Oliver Hall that he'll give a decent opinion? I don't know, but he's their attorney. And as a life member, I said, you guys need to run this by the attorney. I'm not making a claim that it's valid. I have my doubts that it applies, to be honest with you. I tend to think that if we're incorporated in DC, it's DC law that controls. The only thing that gives me pause is that we have virtually zero ties to DC other than we are incorporated there. All of our significant ties are to Virginia. Our headquarters are in Virginia. We follow Virginia employment law when it comes to our staff. So that's the only thing that gives me pause. But my legal instincts tell me that DC law applies. And DC law kind of says the same thing unless your bylaws provide otherwise. And our bylaws do provide otherwise. But I want to know an opinion of a Virginia attorney, because honestly, it's not even up to me to file this. If any member who voted for me feels wrong, they have every right to pursue it. It's not just me anymore. It's not just my case. It's any member who voted for me has legal standing. And it's not a suit for damages, like typical thing. What it would be is a suit for injunctive relief. That's all it would be. It would be to enjoin the LNC from removing me. That's all it would be. But if Oliver looks at it, and what I said to Whitney and Ken is, if Oliver looks at it and he thinks it has merit, we need to resolve this quickly and quietly. So we'll see. We'll see. That's another wrinkle. I'll be working all week to try to find out the answer to that, and I'll let you know as soon as possible. But I wanted to reiterate to you that that is not suing the party. That is not seeking damages. That is still something I would never, ever, 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 ever do. but I will enforce my rights. I've always said that because people kept asking me, why do you keep retaining attorneys then if you said you'd never sue the party? I said, because I want to protect my rights. I don't know all of my rights. So that's what that's all about. And now that I've talked with Mary, I'm even more interested in the opinions. If they keep peace in the party, I will be happy about that. Doesn't help me at all, though. I'm still fucked over. I still have all my hard work. You know how much money I spent in campaigning? You know how much money the LNC just shat all over from my donors that supported me? I spent about $12,000 on my last campaign. And those 11 members of the LNC just pulled their pants down, opened their assholes, and shat all over your money if you donated to my campaign. Just know that. Just know that. I need to put the names down on a piece of paper so I could read them aloud each time, like Arya Stark in her list. But again, there's two parties here, and if we can protect the party, I'm pretty happy about that part. It doesn't help me, but it does help the party because the party's going to exist long after, hopefully, I could be dead and buried and the party still exists. It's so there's two issues. It's much larger than me, but I still do exist. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some selfless person that doesn't see my own personal interest in this whole thing too. But I did talk to my campaign team, and now we know our marching orders for the theme of my campaign. I'm still looking for whips in some states. I did get some emails. Those of you who emailed me over the weekend, I did get it. I will be getting with you tomorrow. I picked up one in Montana, New Hampshire, and Kansas, and I think Idaho. I think Idaho. It was either Idaho or Iowa. I am so sorry. I get those two confused so much because it's both little short names that start with I and they're little. So tomorrow I'll read out again a list of who is it in New Hampshire. It could be you, Justin. Would you like to volunteer as well? I need more than one in each state. Let me see if I can find that quickly because I don't remember whether it came through. See, I've got 2 Facebook Messenger accounts and my Twitter DM and 4 different emails. Let me look at my email real quick and see if I've got, and I got one in Massachusetts. What state is this? This person didn't tell me their state. Oh, Wisconsin. So I got one in Wisconsin. I got another one in Texas. Okay. Justin, Tory Burger, parentheses, saucier. Does that help? Now I lost my screen to where I'm streaming. Where's my streaming screen? Here it is. Okay, if Tori's amazing, then I got an amazing whip in New Hampshire. So, but I would love, Justin, I am always trying to wrangle you into something. So I will, I know her then. I'm really bad with names. We spoke at PorkFest. I know exactly who you mean now. So yeah, there's still though a bunch of states, and I'll read that list out again for the states I still need campaign whips. But I have 2 other needs. I need a campaign manager. I have asked one person who's thinking about it, but I think they might be relieved if someone else wants to do it. And And what does you need to be a member of the party, Titus. You need to be able to be. You need to be planning on being a delegate in Reno. And just for people to know what a whip does is you're just basically my cheerleader for your delegation. And if campaign material needs to be passed out to that delegation, rather than have one person try to pass out 1,000 pieces of literature, piles are given to each campaign whip for that state, and they pass it out to their 10, 15, 30, whatever it might be. So it's just basically many hands make light work type thing. It's not difficult, but it makes things a lot easier rather than poor Wayne having to pass out all my shit. And, and they help with strategy. We have strategy meetings. They help with messaging. They help with ahead of time calling people to try to get support, that sort of thing. So they're kind of in charge of the state. So I'll let you know, so I need a campaign manager and I need a social media person, because once my primary account is off of 30-day ban, I'm going to modify what is now my official secretary page, since, I've been summarily removed, to make it my campaign page. I'll always call myself the secretary in exile. The LNC can kiss my ass. Sue me. Sue me. I won't sue you for damages, but sue me. Try to keep me from calling myself the people's secretary. You can kiss my fucking ass. Actually, I don't want your lips on my ass. I don't know where those lips have been. Michael, I always need additional people in Ohio. Ohio is a big state. So yeah, shoot me an email with your email. I don't know if you can see the beagle. The beagle wants so much attention right now because she missed me all weekend, and she kept having nightmares about Fauci. Didn't you? I won't let him get you. I won't let him get you. Oh my God. See, she won't take her. See how she has her nose buried in my jacket. She's like, I haven't smelled you all weekend. She's the sweetest dog in the earth. This beagle does not have a mean bone. You're not eating that cookie. Okay, look. Okay, you'll eat the cookie. There you go. Oh, she is so cute. But yeah, so I do need those things. Now, I'm on my way now to a Colorado board meeting, which, to be honest with you, is the last thing I want to do right now. You're not getting more of the cookie. I don't care how cute you are, because I'm just tired. And Wayne's back. Yes.
We have to leave early. There's an accident on 25.
Okay, well, we'll go now then. All right, everyone. That's just the news I wanted to give you. And yeah, the volunteers that I just wrangled in, email me at pinkflameofliberty@gmail.com. I'll get you added to my Slack. And the campaign now is going to heat up. Everyone says shut the door, Wayne. He did. Because now I know my status. All right, get down, Zena. Go on, get down. Okay, I'll talk. Oh, now there's an expression, STDW. Shut the door, Wayne. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.